Okay, let's unpack this. Maybe you've got that itch, that feeling you want to start something new, a side hustle, build a business of your own.
Hmm.
But almost immediately, the big question looms, right? Money.
Always money.
How much will it cost? Can I really make a profit without a huge investment?
Yeah, that fear of needing massive capital, it's a huge barrier for so many people.
Totally.
They picture like brick and mortar stores needing venture funding, expensive marketing campaigns, and they just stop
Mm,
before they even start.
exactly. And that's why we wanted to dig into this specific material you shared. A recent conversation zeroing in on exactly this problem.
Right.
Identifying low-cost, high-profit business ideas that are, well, perfect for starting right now, heading into 2025.
Our goal here really is to distill the core insights,
Yeah.
the actionable takeaways,
Yeah.
and the specific business ideas that were presented in that discussion.
Yeah.
We want to help you see what's truly possible if you're kind of ready to take that leap.
Because the case made in this material, it's pretty compelling. 2025 isn't just another year for entrepreneurs. It's shaping up to be uniquely accessible for starting lean, like really lean, with minimal upfront cash.
There's this fascinating confluence of factors right now, isn't there, that makes this moment feel different.
Right. Think about it. First off, AI tools. They've hit the mainstream and they're affordable.
So affordable.
Tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, 11 Labs. Things that used to require serious technical skills, maybe even hiring a team, are now literally at your fingertips.
Often for just a low monthly subscription, sometimes even free to get started.
Which is huge. It just drastically cuts the cost and effort needed for stuff like high quality content, design work, marketing copy.
Things that were major expenses before, absolutely.
And then tied into that, we're seeing this like massive demand for personal hyper niche solutions.
Yeah.
People aren't just looking for generic answers anymore. They want something tailored, something that feels like it was made just for them.
And what's also happening is a shift in consumer trust. You know,
How so?
well, people are increasingly comfortable, and often they actually prefer buying directly from individuals or small kind of human-centric brands.
Oh, okay. So that opens the door wide for the solopreneur then.
Exactly. Plus, no-code tools are just everywhere now.
Oh, yeah. Building a professional looking website, setting up an online store, creating sophisticated landing pages.
You don't need a developer anymore.
Yeah.
Not really. You can often drag and drop your way to a legitimate online presence.
So when you look at all these factors together, the affordable tech, the demand for niche stuff, that shifting trust, the easy platforms, this material described it almost feeling like cheat code mode for starting a business.
I love that phrase, cheat code mode.
Me too. It really captures that feeling of those traditional barriers just kind of crumbling. And it directly challenges that old idea that you need like $10,000 or more to even think about starting.
Oh, definitely.
This material pushes back hard on that, arguing you can often launch for well under $500.
Which, brings us to the question, what does low-cost, high-profit actually mean in this context?
Good question. So, based on this discussion, low cost means you can launch with truly minimal cash. We're talking less than $500, maybe even under $100 sometimes.
Wow, under $100.
Yeah. And the crucial part is you don't need physical inventory or paid ads to get going.
That's key, isn't it?
Right.
Inventory and paid advertising are usually the biggest upfront cash sinks for a traditional startup.
Totally.
Removing those just fundamentally changes the game.
And high profit, what's that look like?
Well, that's defined by high margins, typically 70% or more.
70%.
Yeah. These are usually digital products or service-based businesses that offer, potential for scaling or automating as you grow.
So the focus is really on maximizing the return on that minimal initial investment. You want a high percentage of every dollar you earn to actually be profit.
Bingo. High return, low cash in.
All right, this is where it gets really interesting. Given that 2025 landscape and this definition, the material we reviewed lays out 5 specific business ideas, kind of tailor-made for this environment.
Okay.
What's the first one they highlight?
So the first idea leveraging these trends is AI-powered content services.
Okay, how does that work? Is it just like you press a button on ChatGPT and sell the output?
No, not at all. Not really. It's about using those powerful AI tools, ChatGPT for writing, Canva for visuals, maybe Descript for audio video to offer services,
Like what kind of services?
like repurposing someone's long-form content, say a podcast, into short social clips, or
No.
writing blog posts really quickly, generating video scripts, crafting email sequences. You become the expert using the tools.
Ah, okay, so you're not selling the AI itself. You're selling the speed and the strategic brain that directs the AI.
Exactly. You add the human layer, the strategy, the refinement, understanding the client's goals. That's the value prop. Delivering results faster and more efficiently than they could on their own, or, hiring someone using older methods.
Got it. Okay. Idea number two feels like a classic internet hustle, but maybe super relevant now. A digital product store.
Yeah, this is really appealing because of that potential for passive income, right?
Mm-hmm.
You create assets once things like Notion templates, custom CRM kits seem really popular, or digital planners, finance spreadsheets, maybe curated AI prompt libraries, or even ebooks.
Right, things you can sell over and over again.
Exactly. And platforms like Gumroad, Etsy, or Payhip make setting up the actual store surprisingly easy. It uses those no-code principles we talked about.
Yeah, you don't need to be a web developer.
Not at all. And the real power here is in the niche. They gave a great example in the material, Notion CRM for tattoo artists.
Oh, wow, that's specific.
How specific is that? It immediately resonates with a particular group of people who have a very specific need. Find that niche.
Okay, idea number three is fascinating. It feels kind of old school on the surface, but uses modern tech, a local service with modern branding.
Right. Think services that are always needed locally. Mobile car detailing, power washing, cleaning services. Even something maybe less common like pet waste removal or a tech-savvy mobile repair service like fixing phones.
Stuff where the startup costs for basic equipment can actually be quite low.
Yeah, relatively low. But the twist is that modern branding part.
Okay.
You're not just showing up in like a beat-up truck with a handwritten sign.
Right.
You're using online booking systems, sending professional SMS reminders, really optimizing your Google My Business profile so people can easily find you and, crucially, trust you.
Ah, so it's about professionalism through tech.
Exactly. It takes a traditional, potentially high cash flow business and makes it look incredibly professional and reliable using really accessible technology.
And the benefit.
Often lower competition if you execute the branding well, plus potentially strong monthly cash flow. People need these services regularly.
Makes sense. Okay, idea four dives right into the AI wave itself, an AI tools directory plus affiliate blog.
Yeah, with so many new AI tools popping up constantly, like every day.
It's overwhelming.
Totally. People need guides. So this idea is about creating content, blog posts, short video reviews, comparison guides, all centered around these new tools.
And the money comes from affiliate links, right?
Primarily, yeah.
Yeah.
You recommend a tool, someone clicks your special link, and if they sign up or buy, you get a commission.
So it's a zero inventory model.
Precisely. Your main effort is creating genuinely helpful content and then getting it seen, often through SEO, search engine optimization.
Meaning you set up your content so people find it when they search online for stuff like best AI writing tools or whatever.
Exactly that. Content and SEO.
Yeah.
No warehouse needed.
Okay, final idea on their list.
Uh-huh.
And this one seems great for anyone who prefers to stay behind the scenes, a faceless content brand.
This is all about creating content for platforms like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, but without ever showing your face on camera.
How do you do that?
You use AI voices, stock footage, maybe some simple animation, screen recordings, good editing tools, basically telling stories or sharing information visually and audibly without you being the face.
What kind of topics work well for that model?
Well, they mentioned things like motivational clips, narrating real-life stories people submit, finance tips, even curated animal rescue content. Stuff that people get really engaged with visually or emotionally.
And how do you make money from that?
Monetization can be through affiliate links in the description, maybe selling branded merchandise eventually, or promoting those digital products we talked about earlier, linking out.
And the potential for rapid growth is real here. Is that what they suggested?
Absolutely. With consistency and kind of riding the waves of platform trends, this material noted examples of channels reaching like 100,000 followers in just a few months.
Wow.
It really taps directly into how people consume short-form video content right now.
That's a really solid list. Covers a lot of ground, from purely digital services to local hustles to content creation. But okay, if you're listening to this, how do you pick the right one for you? Or even just figure out if you have a different idea that fits this low-cost, high-profit mold.
Yeah, that's the big question. They offer a simple, but I think pretty powerful framework. It uses just 3 words: skill, interest, and market.
Okay, lay those out for us.
All right, first, skill. What can you learn quickly, or what are you already kind of good at? This is about leveraging what you already know or what you could realistically pick up without, years of training.
Makes sense. Leverage your strengths.
Second, interest. What are you genuinely curious about? What could you actually see yourself working on consistently, maybe for months, without getting totally bored? This fuels the long-term effort needed,
Yeah, I gotta have some passion, or at least curiosity.
for sure. And third, market. Are people already spending money in this area? This
Mhm.
is crucial. You're looking for existing demand, not trying to, like, invent a whole new market from scratch. That's much harder.
So the sweet spot is where those three overlap. Finding an idea that hits skill, interest, and market.
That's the framework they suggest for increasing your chances of success. Find that intersection.
Okay.
And just as important as finding the idea is the mindset advice that came with it, which was basically, don't wait for perfection.
Yes, the classic analysis paralysis.
Exactly. The guiding principle here is launch messy, then improve.
I like that. Launch messy.
Or, put even more simply, done is better than perfect. You learned exponentially more by actually getting your idea out there, getting real feedback than you ever will from just planning indefinitely.
So true. Speaking of launching, what about tools? What are some of the key tools and platforms this material recommended for getting these lean businesses off the ground? They listed quite a few practical ones.
Yeah, they focused on tools that give you the most bang for your buck, often free or low cost to start. So for design work, Canva Pro was highlighted as pretty essential.
Yeah, Canva's amazing. It really does make professional-looking design accessible to everyone.
For leveraging AI, for content, strategy, maybe writing sales copy, ChatGPT and Claude were mentioned.
Your digital co-founders, almost.
Kind of. And for simple audio and video editing, Descript got a shout out because you edit the text like a document, not the waveform.
Oh yeah, that makes complex editing way less intimidating for beginners.
Definitely. Then for building landing pages and actually handling sales, platforms like System.io or Gumroad were recommended.
Specific platforms built for creators and digital sales. Smart move.
Exactly. For just staying organized, managing your tasks and notes, Notion.
A super flexible workspace tool. Lots of people love Notion.
Yeah. And finally, just for getting your online home base, a low-cost domain name. They mentioned a place like Namecheap. You can often get a domain for around $10 a year.
That list really underscores the point, doesn't it? You don't need super fancy enterprise-level software, just the right set of accessible tools to look professional and handle the essentials.
It totally removes the excuse that you need expensive tech to start. The tools are there.
Okay, so we've talked about the opportunity, the ideas, the tools. What about the pitfalls? What key mistakes does this material warn people to avoid when they're launching these kinds of businesses?
They outline 4 big ones. The first is waiting too long to launch.
Right back to done is better than perfect.
It is. They really emphasize you learn by doing, not planning. All the planning in the world won't teach you what the market actually wants
Right.
or how people will react until you actually put something out there.
Makes sense. Mistake number 2.
Trying to do too many things at once.
Oh yeah, the shiny object syndrome. I know that one.
Right. Don't try to build 3 different products. Be active on 5 social platforms and target 4 different customer groups all at the same time, especially when you're starting.
Focus is key.
Exactly.
Okay.
Focus on one core offer, serve one specific niche really well, and maybe master 1 or 2 platforms before you even think about expanding.
Because if you spread yourself too thin, nothing really gains traction.
Precisely. Mistake number 3 they mentioned. Copying without understanding the strategy behind it.
So inspiration is good, but blind imitation isn't the way.
Use successful examples as inspiration, absolutely. Learn from them. But look deeper. Why is that thing working? Who is their target audience? What's the underlying value proposition? Simply replicating the surface-level tactics without understanding the strategy is unlikely to work long-term because you're not building something unique to you or your specific audience.
Good point. Build on inspiration, don't just clone it. And the final big mistake.
Ignoring marketing. Just completely forgetting about it.
You built it. Now what? Crickets.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You have to promote it. Building a great product or service is honestly only half the battle.
Yeah.
Maybe less than half sometimes.
Really?
You have to actively market it, get in front of your target audience, make sure people know you exist and actually understand what you offer. Building it in a vacuum just means no one will ever find you.
Build it and tell people about it.
Got it.
Yeah.
And how long should someone realistically give an idea? Before deciding if it's working or maybe they need a pivot? Yeah, that's always tough. This material suggests giving your chosen idea a dedicated, consistent effort for at least 90 days.
3 months.
Yeah, about 3 months. That time frame usually allows you to implement your initial plan, get some real feedback from the market, learn from it, and see if it's gaining any real traction before you conclude it's, maybe not working or needs a significant change or pivot.
That seems reasonable. Give it a real shot. This has been a super insightful deep dive, really pulling the most important points from that conversation.
Hmm.
The overarching message feels incredibly empowering, doesn't it? Starting a genuinely profitable business feels more accessible in 2025, even with minimal resources, than perhaps ever before.
It absolutely flips the script on the traditional requirements for entrepreneurship. It highlights how technology and shifting consumer behavior have just lowered those barriers so significantly.
And it echoes those final encouraging thoughts from the source material, too, that feeling that you're not too late,
Yeah.
you're not underqualified. Everything you need is either readily available through these affordable tools or maybe already within you in terms of your unique skills, your interests, your willingness to just act.
Yeah, that idea of taking imperfect action is
Mm.
so powerful. You don't need to wait until everything is perfect, because honestly, it never will be. You gain momentum and build confidence simply by starting and learning along the way.
So, thinking about everything we've just explored, the unique opportunities of 2025, what low cost, high profit really means in this context, those 5 specific business ideas, the framework for choosing one, the essential tools, and those key mistakes to sidestep. Here's maybe something to consider.
Okay.
If the barrier to entry truly is this low now, and the necessary tools are right there, pretty much waiting, what one single idea, maybe from the list we talked about, or perhaps something inspired by it, feels most aligned with your unique combination of skill and interest right now? And maybe more importantly, what tiny, imperfect step could you take toward it, maybe even today?